This new charging cable is even 20% lighter.
In the latest technology, does it mean that it is flowing through the copper, basically, or around it?
The cooling liquid is almost directly in contact. We can just unlock 5 screws, replace the making phase, replace the contacts, the signal contacts, whatever is broken.
That only took maybe...
So you see it right here? It's like 5 minutes.
And it's quite easy to maneuver. Hello, I'm at the stall of Phoenix Contact, and yesterday we saw one of the biggest innovation. I had to hear it twice to believe it, because it was the first ever 1000 kilowatt CCS connector. Yes, that's true. And with me is Mr. Ulrich Aschenbroich, and he would be gladly presenting with this technology. And hi, Uli. First of all,
Hasib. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And me and Uli go well back, because 4 years before, he was my ex-boss, basically. And without him hiring me at the charging manufacturer, I wouldn't have been making this video today. So thank you so much, Uli, for bringing me to e-mobility.
Welcome.
And
it is a pleasure.
Indeed.
I think it was a great achievement for the e-mobility world to have you in the team.
Thank you so much, Uli. So now you're at Phoenix Contact.
Yes.
And yesterday you made a groundbreaking innovation. So I will let you take the stage and present what is going on over here.
Yeah. Here you see our new HPC 2.0 charging cable with a boost charging power up to 1 megawatt. So we achieved this innovation by a brand new cooling system within the connector and within the cable. So in addition to that, this new charging cable is even 20% lighter than the one we had before. We achieved that due to the copper reduction because of the cooling system. Furthermore, we can exchange the making phase, so we can exchange the plastic parts as well as the power and signal contacts to make it more environmental friendly, to make it repairable on site, because the making phase is typically the one part which always breaks somehow.
Indeed, 100%.
Due to falling to the ground, to misuse of the customer. And so we make this part exchangeable.
Highly serviceable. That means if the cable falls down, the CPO does not have the problem that they have to replace the whole cable like we know from the past, but now it means that if it falls and if the mating interface breaks, so basically you can just replace it easily.
We can supply an upgrade kit in the field, so we can just unlock 5 screws, replace the making phase, replace the contacts, the signal contacts, whatever is broken. He is not touching the calibration lock capsular, because this is within the connector, and which is sealed very well. So we achieved IP67 with this connector. So even with when it's raining, when it's dropping into water, the connector is working. So it is a really great and reliable product, which results into an increased uptime for the CPO at the site.
There were a lot of information and a lot of great things, because you said it's going to be 20% lighter.
Yeah.
The biggest concern what people had was when they were thinking it's going to be a 1000 kilowatt CCS plug, that it's going to be much heavier than what we have in the market right now, which is, like, let's say, supporting up to 500 amps or 600 amps cable. It's going to support 1000 amps and it's going to be lighter. So could you just dwell on it? I mean, did I hear it right? And how it's working?
It right. So let me show you. This is the HPC 1.0, so the first generation liquid cooled cable. Here you can see the cooling tubes, which are in between the power lines.
Yes.
So there, the interface between cooling tube and copper is quite limited.
Indeed.
So in the new one, which we presented and saw already, we have the cooling tubes. The cooling tubes within the power line. When you look over here at this video, you will see it. Here are the cables, the cooling tubes, and here the cooling tubes are coming out of the power line. So the copper is twisted around the cooling tube, and so we achieved a great cooling performance within the cable, and also the cooling concept within the connector is very special. Here you see the power parts. Here you see the cooling tubes, and the cooling liquid is almost directly in contact with the connectors within the connector. So the liquid is flowing around the copper parts, and there's just a small plastic part which is distinguishing the liquid from the actual power connection, so that you have also a great cooling performance, a large interface between the power parts and the cool parts.
That's amazing. So I know you're not able to show today, but what I want to understand, and the animation we saw it, but this was a previous technology. So there was a cooling that was going in between around the copper cables.
Right.
But in the latest technology, does it mean that it is flowing through the copper, basically, or around it?
So here you see the cooling tube. The cooling tube basically is staying the same, but the copper is twisted around this cooling tube. So, and and therefore the liquid is flowing through the copper, and this is resulting into the great
much greater surface area.
Yeah, right. So the surface area for the cooling is greater, and this is also the reason why we could reduce the copper within the cable and make it lighter.
That's pretty awesome. And another question, when I posted yesterday, 1000 amps, are you boosting it, and what will be the continuous ampere that it could deliver?
So the 1000 amps at 40 degrees we could deliver for 5 minutes. So this is the boost mode. Mm-hmm. If the outside temperature is lower, the boost mode can be even longer. Continuous is 800 amps.
Oh, that's it.
So depending on the voltage, a car could charge between 400 and 640 kilowatts.
That's pretty amazing. Until the point megawatt charging becomes mainstream, I think that's a very good bridge that could deliver extremely high amounts of power for the latest cars that are coming right now. So we are always talking nowadays when the car is going about 300 kilowatts, but then we see in China there are cars like Xiaomi SU7, it's talking about 470 kilowatts, so hopefully such cars are going to come in Europe. But it's really great to know that such infrastructure is already there which can support it.
Right, but it's not only for cars, it's also a bridge technology for the upcoming truck charging markets. So all the CCS 2 trucks which are available could be charged with great power now. So the battery management system of the car, obviously, or the truck needs to support that.
Indeed.
But and we will most likely see it along with the MCS standard.
Indeed.
And in the future charge posts. So they are equipped then with one MCS cable, one CCS2 cable with high power capabilities. And the cool thing is that the cable of the MCS cable is designed in the same way like for the CCS2 cable.
So optimized cooling.
We also can replace it later on with an MCS cable if necessary. So,
wow. On the same charger or?
On the same charger, if MCS is needed, we can just replace it. The cable design is exactly the same. So the cable connection within the charger could be used.
Okay.
And obviously it's depending on the cooling performance of the whole system, but it is possible. So the customers, our customers, the charger OEM, can design their equipment accordingly and move easily from CCS2 technology to CCS2 standard to MCS standard.
That's perfect. But thank you so much, Uli, for explaining about this groundbreaking innovation. Thank you so much, Phoenix Contacts, for bringing this innovation. And it's great to see what is happening in the e-mobility sector.
Yeah. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Asif.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wait a second.
And these are 5 screws, right?
Yeah, exactly. So 5 for the mating phase and 2 in the power contacts that they secured and let's say ensure a good connection.
That only took maybe...
So you see it? Well, yeah, it's like 5 minutes.
Even less than that.
It's not completely loose, so the power contacts have a screw through. You can close that down and you just see, let's say, that it's completely sealed off.
Indeed.
There's no part, just screw it through. You could replace
That's
all the contacts now, exchange them,
So
You will get a repair kit, like a new mating phase, all the contacts as a replacement kit with the specialized bits and tooling. You will have specialized bit that is temper resistant, so nobody can screw it off that is not authorized to that.
Okay. But that was pretty quick to extend it.
Yeah, and you screw it on back, put back on the cap, you would screw down the 5 screws for the mating phase, secure everything, torque it down with a, let's say that's a torque
Yeah.
screwdriver. Take the fitting torque, that's according to our requirements, and you're done in 5 minutes and your mating phase is replaced.
Wow. Then you just have to pay for the spare parts in case the cable gets broken down or the mating phase actually breaks down. So you just have to send a technician.
The thing is, why
10 minutes.
Why are we doing that? Because if the cable is dropped down, what happens? The cable falls down like that and slams on the mating phase head first. So that's the first part that gets broken. So that's why we replace them and why we have, let's say, these spare parts to replace them. And it's really, you need to be trained once, like with a video or something like that, and then you're good to go as a technician. It's really foolproof, I would say.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. So here is a charge post where we can see this 1000 kilowatt CCS plug in full action. So one of the questions that I got on my previous post was, is it easy to maneuver and how heavy does it feel? Because the number 1000 amperes it can support sounds kind of alarming because people compare it with the 500, 600 amps cable that are in the field right now. They seem quite heavy, but on this cable, it's going to be 20% less in weight. And let's try it. So I need to unlock, and that's pretty lightweight, honestly. And it's quite easy to maneuver. So I'm doing it with my strong hand. Let's do it with my weak hand because I practically never use my left hand. But even with my left hand, it's quite easy to maneuver. And it's quite lightweight. So I can definitely say that Phoenix Contact have done a great job. This cable feels quite light, the whole assembly. And with the connector 1000 kilowatt it can support, it's a great technology, a great innovation. And I'm looking forward where it will take e-mobility, and it's going to take e-mobility quite further. Thank you.